in the upway does this take us, I wonder? Anyway, we're back with Rogue Trader. What's this stick? Oh.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
I didn't even notice that was a door when I came through here the first time. I don't think it showed up. Go to the western
Is there
side,
money
shall
to
we?
be made? Keep your wits about you. I always keep my options open.
See, right there. I better myself through my service. Never doubt me. The Emperor favors me today. I better myself through my service. Never doubt me. The Emperor favors me today.
Right.
Let us not dawdle.
Over there!
I'll probably use that because I don't know what that means, but you know.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust. Is there money to be made? Keep your wits about you.
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
Okay. Good to know. Alright, so now I know where all three of those points went to. Let's walk right up this main alley that I'm sure won't be booby-trapped or...
I always have a backup plan.
Some 10 people, children among them, are huddling together in fear. You see that half of them have black holes where their eyes used to be. Some maintain a gloomy silence, others are wailing. Several armed insurgents are carefully watching over the terrified hostages, snapping every now and then if someone were shaking too much or crying too loudly. Come to your senses, Harold. Look what you're doing to your own family. A woman of about 60, gray-haired but still strong, is kneeling before a stocky man with a thick, pure white beard, stretching her arms toward him. Take pity on us. Let us go. Stop talking and embrace redemption. Our children have gained true sight, while you still believe the lie. Upon seeing you, the man points his weapon at you. The other insurgents do the same. Who are you and why are you here? No, you tell me who you are and what you are doing to these unfortunates. I am the chief. My former name, Harold, is meaningless now. I am a father leading his family to deliverance from woes, to salvation. Roar has opened my eyes to the truth, and my children will see it. Harold, spare us! Spare your children! His mind and soul are pierced by shards of a colorful deception. Hughes, once twisted by despair and the Immaterium's influence, can never be the same again. Layperson, cognition is not your primary function. You are saving your kin by holding them at gunpoint and believe that burning their eyes will grant them sight. It is evident that the author of the demagogic teaching that confused you meant to make mockery of your deplorable intellect. To cast your own children into the thrall of heresy, to drown your progeny in this filth with your own hands. You've been torturing your own family in order to save them. You've been blinding them so that they could see the truth. Those who lack faith cannot grasp the truth and will not be saved. The old man is obstinate, but you sense that the confidence in his voice has diminished. Think about it. What good has the final dawn done for anyone at all? Some have died, some have had their eyes burnt out, some have gone insane. But they said the end was near. They promised salvation. I wanted nothing else. The man's weapon falls from his hands to the ground. He clutches his head. There's no washing the blood from your hands, but you could at least let us go, Harold. The ones you haven't mutilated yet. The old man gestures to the other insurgents, who lower their weapons. Then he shifts his gaze to you, trying to hold back tears. What happens to us now? I'm sticking with Iconoclast. Your family may go, and so may you, but make sure I do not ever see you again. The hostages begin to leave, and soon the group disappears around one of the bends. The old man looks away from them and walks in the opposite direction. His shoulders shake with sobs every now and then. I need to take care of this Aurora problem. Oh, leveled up. Let's do that. Alright. Leveled up. Let's move on.
This is intriguing.
When the faithful are idle, heresy grows. Duty prevails. I better myself through my service.
Why did they not set off any traps? Was this all a ploy? Where's that at? Oh, no. Yeah. Okay. They don't fucking set off any traps.
Always keep your eye on the prize. Rise to the top, or get left in the dust. Let us not dawdle.
About those?
The Emperor sets my path.
I always keep my options open. Is there money to be made? Keep your wits about you.
Okay, there's nothing there. Don't like how it does let me pan closer. I wish it would. Welcome to the Rickid Minoris Command Center.
I always have a backup plan. Always keep your eye on the prize.
Basal Rakabi Ab Medina of Kronos, governor of this star system, welcome to my temporary headquarters. Well, that must be his name. Basal Rakadi Ab Medina. The man's gaze falls on Abelard, his eyes slightly narrow. Ursarian. Abelard nods slightly. Governor Medina, my greetings. The governor's expression changes drastically when he sees Cassia. Lady Navigator, what an honor. Never thought that the House of Roselia would grace our world with a visit. I wish I could have received you under different circumstances. Cassia purses her lips. An echo of grief knocks the wind out of those present. House Roselia was grateful for the support that you have provided to Urak 5 these many, many years. I'm not seeing the convoy I'd sent to meet you. What happened? Did they fail to find and escort you? If that is so, I promise you their punishment will be swift and severe. The convoy was ambushed and massacred. The only surviving soldier turned out to be a traitor and was personally executed by me. That's an outrage. I will have the personal vetting procedure changed immediately. The slightest suspicion will be grounds for arrest. Your Ladyship, before we proceed with discussing the matters that are of interest to you, there is a question I feel compelled to ask. It's only recently that Lady Theodora was the head of House von Valencius. I have received no word of her demise. How is it that you are now the rogue traitor? My esteemed predecessor died at the hands of cultists. May the Emperor incinerate their souls. Governor frowns, and a deep shadow falls over his face. Rogue traitor von Valencius, slain, unthinkable. Please accept my deepest and most sincere condolences, Your Ladyship. Do not hesitate to let me know how I might be of help. I need fresh crew to replace those killed in the attack on the ship, and I need material compensation. Of course, Your Ladyship. You will be compensated for any losses, and I will see to it personally that your ship's holds are filled with the finest goods from my personal reserves. Excellent, Your Ladyship. A rogue trader has no use for leniency. I can offer you several thousand fine, obedient servants. However, I'm sad to inform you that I won't be able to do it until we've dealt with the insurgency on this planet. I'm sure you won't have to wait too long. The rabble will soon be duly punished for their heretical scheming. I wish to commend the courage of one of your officers, Sergeant Malgar. He and his soldiers valiantly defend the starport. The sergeant who managed to impress such a person of noble standing will be recommended for decoration. My kinsman, Conrad Voigtver von Valencius, has betrayed our dynasty and the Imperium. If he is hiding in the system, I want him handed over to me. Voigtver is a traitor? Why, any family, however noble, has an unworthy scion or two. Naturally, we will surrender him should we find him within my jurisdiction. Unfortunately, I have no information regarding his location. However, the governor pauses to think. We have a cogitator here at the command center. It's connected to a data crypt from the Logis Abel Sanctum. It's aggregated all the Lex Mechanic reports. Unfortunately, the access parameter for it is unknown to me. If you manage to convince the stubborn machine, you might learn something about Conrad's movements. I'd hazard he'd fled from you on a ship, not on a pair of wings. Heinrich Ben Calix, an interrogator of the Most Holy Inquisition, is operating in your system. Do you know where he is? I do. Master Ben Calix has left for the hallowed electrodynamic Cenobium. It's an ancient monastery of the Adeptus Mechanicus. I don't know what its objectives are. Needless to say, insurgent activity has been observed in the monastery's vicinity. But I suppose that's too petty of a problem for an agent of the Most Holy Inquisition. Besides, I have already sent out small detachments of reinforcements there. Unfortunately, right now you won't be able to leave the capital and set out to look for them. The rebels have got hold of some ancient weapon and made flying over the city impossible. Are you so confident you will crush the insurrection soon? My own impression has been the exact opposite. That's so. I'd like to hear your reasoning. The riders are too well organized, too well informed, too well armed. There are signs of indoctrination into the heretical beliefs. They are clearly being directed by someone competent and charismatic. Governor, you are dealing with an arch-enemy cult that is growing at an alarming rate. The governor's eyes darkened, but your unwavering gaze makes him give in. All right. Perhaps I've underestimated the mutiny, writing it off as the rabble's usual nonsense. However, if it does involve corruption in an underground cult, this needs to be investigated. I'll assign additional resources to it and take the issue seriously. You have my word, your ladyship. Is there anything else I can do on this planet or in this system while I wait for the end of this revolt? If you'd like a distraction, a smaller and safer uprising to suppress at your leisure, there is a planetoid in my system called Ricadiphilia. It hosts a prison colony whose inmates rebelled at the same time as the heretics on this planet. It is an all-around preposterous situation. It should only take us a couple of orbital shots to take care of them, but... The governor slightly purses his lips. Yvain Winterscale went there. He is a relative of my suzerain, the great rogue trader Caligos Winterscale, the master of this system and a dozen others. I imagine young Lord Winterscale is very eager to prove himself to his distinguished kinsman. I see no reason for you not to join him. It is a small planetoid. The prisoners' numbers are few. They have little in the way of weapons. It's more of a sport for noble lords and ladies than a real rebellion. Yvain. One of his distant younger offspring, yes, that's as much as I know about him, which means he hasn't distinguished himself in any meaningful way. Yvain Winterscale has made several diplomatic visits to Urac 5 on behalf of his father. The great regent would never have granted entry to someone dishonorable, which means, no matter what happened to the planetoid, we must aid the highborn. That's all I wanted to discuss. The cogitator looks older and more worn than the ones next to it. However, it has evidently been well cared for. Numerous parts have been replaced. Not a single key is jammed, and fresh seals with prayers of the Omnissiah adorn its surface. One of the side panels has been removed. Bundles of gold-notched cables run from inside to a small data crypt that was connected only a short while ago. Awaiting access code. Force the access to the cogitator. You have bypassed the security layers. The cogitator is ready to reveal its secrets. Sacred Computation 7825M. Upon Logis Abel's orders, the archives of every augur are stationed on Ricad Minoris, and the two primary satellites of Ricad's star have been queried. Said satellites are named Mogos Maruf and Zafira the Keen, after two great champions of faith, whose external cogitators were placed inside the satellite's cores after their shells perished. The purpose of the sacred computation requested by the Logis is to uncover the external influence behind the ongoing insurgency. Computation result positive. Multiple instances of interference and malfunction detected, suggesting that the ships moving across the system deliberately blinded the sacred augur's eyes. The first of these ships is thought to have arrived 2 Record Minoris cycles ago early in the winter. The most recent one arrived a month ago. Logis Abel's conclusion: the insurrection on the planet had long been in the making, with the participation of external actors. It is alleged that 2 cycles ago, Aurora arrived in the Ricard system, the rumored unholy prophet of the insurgents. The subsequent ship movements can be attributed to weapon deliveries, but what is the nature of the activity near Ricard Filia? Governor Medina's attention must be drawn to. The final entry cuts off. Recent observations. The satellite Magos Maruf reports that a ship has translated into the system. Its signature is consistent with the records of the flagship of a rogue trader dynasty, Housebound Valencius. The satellite Zafir the Keen reports that a ship drifting nearby has hurriedly sped away. The ship had sent an encrypted box transmission to the insurgent-controlled area of the surface of Ricard Minoris. Another transmission was directed to the planetoid Ricard Filia. Both transmissions were assigned Brother Twilight. Their contents could not be decrypted. To be investigated. The entry contains planetside coordinates marked as Heavy Auger Station jamming, possibly a hidden insurgent base. Alright, so that's done. Let us talk to him again. Alright, so that's good. Now what do I do? The painfully thin tech breeze turns sharply towards you. The sudden movement makes his chromed augmentics briefly clang. His gray eyes, set on the furrowed brows, almost blended into the pale skin of his face, and he levels you with a heavy, dour stare. Identification: Unit Logis Quartz Crane, official trade representative of the Exploration Cognizance Fleet. The unit supervises supply routes in the Ricard system, ensures the security of the combat arsenal, performs commercial transactions, and secures mutually beneficial contracts. When the tech priest notices Pascal, his eyes widen. His box unit immediately lets out a string of screeching bin harak, a tortuously long trade in which the volume rises and falls seemingly at random. When it is over, the Omnissiah's servant bows his head in deference. Unit Quartz Crane requests permission to transfer information. The rogue trader possesses a supreme degree of power, the potential to influence the current leadership, the ability to restore order in the Ricard system. Permission to transfer information granted. What do you wish to tell me? Haphazard and careless decisions on the part of Ricard Minoris' governor have led to unacceptable consequences. Communication with the Adeptus Mechanicus Sanctum has been lost. Troops have been sent to the hallowed electrodynamic cenobium without delay. Restoring communication with the Electro Priests and ensuring the Sanctum's security are our top priorities. You are the head of a rogue trader dynasty. Your position enables you to exert influence. The tech priest pauses for a moment. And the pressure on the subjects of the Imperium, Unit Quartz Crane requests assistance. The actions of Governor Faisal Rakati Ab Medina of Coronis must be influenced. Demand that the troops be sent to the holy monastery of the Adeptus Mechanicus. I observed that this world's authorities lack diligence in the performance of their duties. That statement is true. United in denunciations and brimming with righteous criticism, the pair in red exchange knowing nods. I will discuss it with the governor. Unit Quartz Crane is grateful. The rogue trader is highly likely to successfully influence the future actions of the local authorities. What was that? A detailed complaint. I recommend you consider Unit Quartz Crane's request to transfer information. You're an explorator, aren't you? What are you doing here? Retrieving archived data. Over 70 Terran years ago, the governor of Ricard Minoris and authorized representatives of the Explorator Cognizance fleet made an agreement. Its goal was to mutual benefit through cooperation. Unit Logis Quartz Creme is the fleet's appointed trade agent. The unit is responsible for the maintenance of the arsenal and the combat machinery. Blessed are the armors, and there can be no Imperium without them. Blessed are the valiant warriors, for there is no end to the darkness without them. The Omnissiah's servants exchange short but hard mantras filled with intimidating solemnity. And what is the Cognizance fleet doing in the Ricard system? The Cognizance fleet's presence in the Ricard system is negligible. Its research activities in the system have been concluded. A limited presence is maintained for the purpose of logistical support. Fulfillment of vows to maintain the Omnissiah's creations, spiritual oversight. Alright, show me your arsenal. I accept the commercial transaction. See if I can get old and competent here to change his mind. Greetings again, your ladyship. Tech Priest Quartz Creme claims you have not been doing enough to ensure the safety of the Adeptus Mechanicus Monastery. Of course he does. That tech priest is very insistent. I ordered a squad to be dispatched to the Holy Cenobium of the Adeptus Mechanicus. They haven't been heard from yet. I'm afraid this is all I can do under the present circumstances. I don't have a single soldier to spare here in the capital. Does he say anything different? Okay. So then now what do I do?
Watching the lady handle sacred technology breaks my heart. Figuratively speaking, my cardiovascular augmentation can withstand much more than high blood pressure.
Alright, let's go back then. Imagine I gotta get to the Adeptus Mechanicus stronghold. Now I gotta figure out how to destroy that freaking big ass gun. I feel like that big gun there was my chance to destroy something. I missed it.
I always keep my options open. Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
The anti-aircraft battery control panel has a panoply of mysterious levers. The anti-aircraft battery was certainly constructed a long time ago, long before the colonization of this world began. It comes as no surprise that the insurgents were barely able to operate it. Modern arms protocols are incomprehensible to the machine spirits of such an ancient construction. The blast consumes the ancient weapon. The sky above the city is safe for flying again. I don't know. Let's go back and talk to Butthead. How did I miss that the first time? Gotta pay more attention. I think that might have been the first thing I've
Keep
come
your
across
wits
in this
about you.
game. See, fight heresy, serve a higher purpose, safeguard humanity's dominion. I think every single time I've had one of those pop up, it's been something like that. The cover was haphazardly assembled from whatever the rebels could find.
Is there money to be made?
There's always money to be made.
I always have a backup plan.
See? The formidable shells for large caliber weapons are being stored right in the command center. Yeah, that makes sense. Why not? Greetings again, your ladyship. The anti-aircraft battery that was giving you so much trouble has been destroyed. That's excellent news. Thank you for your assistance. The weapon the insurgents were using to shoot down the shuttles over the city has been destroyed. Now nothing is preventing you from returning to your ship. If you wish to find Master Van Calix, you should go to the cenobium of the Adeptus Mechanicus. On behalf of the Priesthood of Mars, I, Magus Henneman, officially initiating my participation in this operation. I must inspect the state of the relic and assure myself that it is under zero risk of falling into heretic hands. According to the Catechism of Maintenance and Operation, my tech comrades were supposed to lock the monastery gates against lay people and activate the traps. I deem it optimal that an ordained Magos should provide his assistance. I categorically object. As much as I respect the sanctity of your monastery, I have on my hands a whole capital that needs to be attended by the Omnissiah's servants. We have lost many eminent tech priests. Incidentally, one of them perished in that same monastery. Mechanical failures could occur at any moment. Putting it bluntly, you may consider yourself forcibly recruited into the city's defense forces. Medina and Pascal glare at each other, their unyielding gazes like crossed swords. But Magos is part of my retinue. You have no right to give him orders. You mistake me for a fool. I know that he arrived separately for you. I would bet my life that no... The governor's voice dies down to the low growl of a drilling mechanodrite, its tip directed straightly at the bridge of his nose. Medina clears his throat and grumbles stubbornly. So this is the negotiation technique you have resorted to? You think that it's the first time I have been threatened with a weapon? No, but this could be your last. Pascal's voice is akin to the sound produced by his drilling implement. Steady, calm, but ready to explode at a moment's notice with the crunching of bone and the squelching of tearing flesh. I am heading to the monastery because I must. Is that clear? Abundantly so, Magos. And it would be my pleasure to assist the Omnissiah's servant in reaching the sanctum. Thank you for your cooperation, your ladyship. The drill stops. As compensation for your consideration of my request, I, Magos Henneman, officially undertake to accompany you in the Ricard system in the role of bodyguard and to protect you at all costs until your life functions cease, but only within the limits of the Ricard system. You're Henneman, Glad you're alive. The governor raises his eyebrow and stares at the tech priest in surprise but refrains from further commentary. I wish to know more about the monastery. The cenobium has been run by the Adeptus Mechanicus. However, since the colony was founded, has been run by the Adeptus Mechanicus ever since the colony was founded. The sacred reactor guarded by its priests powers the entire planet. I can say no more. It is a forbidden place that even I have only been allowed to visit once. Why not tell the monastery if that is where the insurgents have gathered, or deploy a landing force? Fulfilling this request puts the monastery in danger of major destruction. The consequences of his decision for the world of Ricard Minoris would be catastrophic. Pascal, what is so special about the cenobium and the relic? What is in there that has drawn the attention of an interrogator of the Inquisition? I have never been there before, but I presume that the sacred relic of the reactor is capable of great destruction should it end up in heretic hands. The fury of the freed machine spirits, once released from the sacred circuit, will destroy everything around them. The degree of damage inflicted may render the world of Recalmenors uninhabitable. Heresy must be purged from those blessed halls. I declare any desecrator who defiles the relic's power a Category 3 blasphemer, serving an immediate execution. And what has you so perplexed about my companion's name? According to the reports we received, Lotus Abel Henneman set off for the hallowed electrodynamic cenobium a short while before it was stormed. I'm glad to find out that you're safe. Perhaps you possess information on Master Van Kalox? My name is Pascal Henneman, not Abel. I know nothing of such a person. What do you know about this Abel, Governor? I never met him in person. The esteemed Lotus supervised the work of the Recalmenors Lex Mechanics for many years. However, he rarely left his cyber chapel, and I never had the honor of making his acquaintance. A true anchorite. Why did he fly to the monastery? That seems suspicious. When a Lotus of the Adeptus Mechanicus wants to go somewhere, we don't ask why, your ladyship. And where can I get more information on this individual? I have suggested that you inspect the esteemed Lotus' sanctum, but it was destroyed by the rebels. We recovered several data crypts and connected them to the cogitators at the command post. They might provide you with some information. That name might have been used as a signal, intelligible only to its intended recipient. In that case, its bearer might be Archmagus Amornat, initiating an investigation and data collection procedure. I can hear my friend's signed whispers through the door. Be careful of your search, Magos. If you stare into a shattered mirror too long, you might see yourself in every shard at once. Mending it is that much more of a tainted affair than the new reflection is death-like. I see. Glad to be of service, your ladyship. So now let's take Homeboy. See if he gets anything there.
Data meditation is terminated.
Yep. Go to Lotus' private archive, result of Lotus Abel's data clearance. Or data trance. I cannot see the secret design, but I can sense it shackled in stasis. The minds of the initiated are slumbering in neural harness of their vows. I am registering an impulse of change. I surmise a potential influence on the stasis of the secret design. There came a time when the spiral was turned into a circle, but the cycle can be discontinued. The revelation was granted by the Omnissiah to Lotus Abel in the course of his data meditation has been recorded verbatim. Lotus Abel is seeking an audience with the Venerable Dar Impulse VI, who may assist in interpreting the revelation. A request has been sent to the Governor's Palace for a shuttle flight to the electrodynamic cenobium. A message has also been sent to Furabundus system. The cycle can be discontinued. I recognize the words. The voice from the box is soft, pensive, barely audible over the static noise. I believe I know the intended recipient of the message in the Furabundus system. It was me. Omnissiah, grant me the wisdom to fathom this mystery. Alright. Let's move on out.
Anything worthy of my attention?
Yeah. Oh, there's two doors? I can go straight to my voice ship. Let's go.
I always keep my options open.
Box message Vigis. Permission to report, Lord Captain. Over the past few days, I received several messages from different decks complaining about anomalous behavior in the ship's cogitators and servitors. The machine spirits are restless and rebellious, and no tech linear ritual or pacification can rid them of this obstinacy. The tech priests can deal with the Vestal systems, but the servitors, that make errors in their tasks, disobey orders, change the assigned rituals, or sometimes downright freeze as if in a trance. A click comes through the box channel, followed by a wary sigh. Lord Captain, occurrences such as these are caused by errors in cogitator calculation or have some other sensible explanation. I beseech you not to take after those who whisper about the ship being cursed or possessed. Oh, don't start, old man. All these peculiar happenings have long since turned into local legends. A door slams shut, a lumen starts flickering. Folks have grown used to all that, so our resident ghost here has decided to up the ante. I'm telling you, things are only going to get worse from here. The technomats have inspected the servitors and concluded they pose no danger. According to the servants of the Omnissiah, such behavior is caused either by the echoes of minds not completely eliminated or by manifestation of the machine spirit's will. Nevertheless, the faulty servitors make the crew task considerably more difficult, and the High Factotum Janus Danrock would like to discuss how he should deal with the defective property. He is awaiting your audience on the bridge. How do I leave? Oh. Deal with this. Who are you talk to? I fact him, Janus Stenrock. The corpulent man in lavish clothes bows before you, not without difficulty. The serval skull whirs over his shoulder while the fingers of his augmented hand jump against the sheaf of papers he is holding. And he regards you with attentive interest through the lens of his magnifying implant. Greetings, your ladyship. Janus Stenrock at your service. Vigdis informed me about a problem with the servitors. What happened? You see, your ladyship, the ship's servitors have been malfunctioning of late. They violate protocols, interrupt their tasks, observe crew members for long periods of time, and move erratically with no meaning or purpose. Janus Stenrock nervously pulls on his luxurious frock coat as if it were uncomfortably tight. Had it been a routine technical fault, I would have decided the fate of the servitors myself, but I deemed it necessary to notify you. I wish not to hide such irregularities from the Lord Captain. If you wish to observe the servitors' unusual behavior before you decide their fate, this can be arranged. The majority of the defective units have been delivered to one storage compartment pending your decision. Pascal Henneman expressed the desire to be present during the inspection should it be carried out. I suppose the expertise of the esteemed Magos may come in handy. I wish to take a look at these servitors before deciding their fate. As you wish, your ladyship. Would you like the Ancient Seer Prime to accompany you? Yes, Pascal shall come with me. As your ladyship commands. Get a drink because I've been reading a lot. When her ladyship arrived at the scene, she found the servitors in the same position that they had assumed after they had been corralled into the bay. All standing in a long, spiraling line and facing the center of their strange formation. The moment her ladyship crossed the threshold of the bay gate, their bodies jerked into motion. All as one, as if obeying a command, the servitors turned to face the Lord Captain. The technomats tasked with overseeing the defective units even reached for their weapons, but then the servitors went still just as abruptly, staring at her ladyship with vacant eyes. All present held their breath, disturbed by this sight. We waited for the captain to speak. Her ladyship Selena Voidstar von Valencius gestured for her engine seer Prime to steady the servitors. Then Seer Prime slowly waited to the motionless ranks of the servitors, peering into their faces and checking the readings. There was no haste in Pascal's actions. With mesmerizing diligence, he inspected every single unit in his path, and binary prayers were his companions in this investigation. The examinations confirmed the Technoman's initial hypothesis. The servitors' souls, or rather, the souls of the people they once were, had awakened. Not yet fully conscious of their past and present, these half-machines could nonetheless feel primitive emotions and sensations such as fear and pain. This undesirable consequence of shoddily performed lobotomy is most rarely observed, and yet, for some unknown reason, it has occurred in every single one of the servitors gathered in the bay. I took several steps toward the servitors. Immediately, the servitors, each and every one of them, stepped toward the Lord Captain in perfect unison. They mimicked her movements with frightening precision. The rogue trader halted in place after a moment's thought, waved her hand, and the servitors, just as synchronously, repeated that gesture as well. When the Lord Captain turned quizzically to the Technomats, so did the servitors, as if mocking her. Whatever the Lord Captain did, be it an incline of the head, a wave of a hand, or a step to the side, the defective units repeated it without a moment's delay or hesitation, like grotesque marionettes controlled by an unseen puppeteer. We observed this mime unfold in distressed bafflement for nearly a minute until the servitors finally came to a stop. Not sensing any threat from them, the rogue trader approached with confidence. The Lord Captain examined the servitors. As High Factotum, it was I who prompted the entire inspection. Thus it was my duty to follow the Lord Captain. As we stepped closer, we noticed a fascinating irregularity. The servitors' pupils, normally still, were shaking wildly. Their bulging veins were pulsating under their copper collars, inscribed with the vast past offenses, as if those mindless half-machines were locked in a perpetual state of extreme tension. A visibly shaken Technomat behind us proposed that the human souls had awakened within the servitors' bodies after a long slumber deep within their lobotomized brains. Formerly bereft of intelligence, they had attained awareness, feeling, and understanding. After a pause, the Technomat added that the servitors used to function properly and that no one had been able to explain the change in their behavior. Her gaze still trained on the motionless but animate half machines, half people. The Lord Captain stepped away from the servitors. Demanded a report on the defective unit status from the Technomats. Technomat's long-winded and detailed report could have been summarized in a single key point. Despite the servitors' abnormal behavior, they are still quite capable of carrying out tasks. Therefore, the circumstances did not call for their termination. It will turn to me to announce her decision. Her ladyship looked at me with unwavering resolve, and it was that confidence that wrenched me out of my nightmarish stupor that had me tensely observing the scene unfolding before me. The Lord Captain gave the order. Dispose of the servitors so that their human souls may be released from their torment. The Lord Captain's command was executed post haste. All defective units were incinerated in the furnace, and their remains were expelled to the void. The crew was provided with replacement servitors and soon forgot all about the destroyed unit's peculiarities. Yet this incident haunts my memories to this day. With the fate of the defective servitors decided, nothing could now distract the Lord Captain from her mission. Just noticed the skull, cognitor skull, chewing on the book. Holy moly, that was a lot of reading. I need to talk to... Alright, coming over here, getting in position, and we're going to stop here for today. I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying this. If you are, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. It means a lot, helps the channel grow, and I really do appreciate it. Until next time, love you guys. Hope to see you again soon. Take care, and I will talk to you later. Bye for now.